Have you ever wondered why certain souls walk through fire unscathed? Why some beings carry a presence so solid that chaos itself retreats before them? There is a spiritual signature written in the cosmos, a seal so ancient that it predates every religion, every temple, every scripture humanity has ever known. This seal belongs to Taurus, not the gentle, patient Taurus the world sees on the surface, but the Taurus who carries a blessing so profound that both heaven and hell watch with reverence and caution. If you were born under this sign, or if this energy calls to you right now, you are about to discover a truth that will shatter everything you thought you knew about your own power. This is not a reading. This is a remembering. Listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal has been buried in mystical texts, whispered in esoteric circles, hidden from those who would abuse such knowledge. Taurus is the only zodiac sign mentioned in ancient spiritual manuscripts as the one who makes both light and shadow tremble, not because you fight, not because you conquer, but because your very existence is magnetized by divine grace in a way that makes the fabric of reality itself bend around you. You are the guardian of consecrated matter, the bridge between heaven and earth, vibrating at terahertz, a frequency of unshakable stability, of manifestation made flesh. While other signs dance between dimensions, you anchor the sacred into the physical. You are the living proof that God can touch this world. But here's what they never told you. What was kept hidden to prevent you from claiming your full magnitude. There is a spiritual conspiracy against your power, Taurus, a deliberate attempt to make you doubt the very gift that courses through your blood. From childhood, you felt it this strange weight, this otherness that nobody could name. Everything you touched either flourished or resisted with such intensity that it frightened you. You were called stubborn when you were simply protecting something sacred that others couldn't perceive. You were labeled materialistic when you were actually practicing the most divine art, bringing heaven's blueprint into tangible form. The world taught you to apologize for your solidity, to shrink from your immovable truth. They had to, because a fully awakened Taurus is something neither darkness nor divinity can control. Right now, in this exact moment of cosmic alignment with Pluto moving through Aquarius and the May full moon illuminating your constellation, the universe is tearing down the veil. The forces that kept you small are losing their grip. You are beginning to feel something stirred within you, something that has been sleeping beneath layers of doubt and spiritual guilt. It is the recognition of who you truly are, not just blessed, but the blessing itself. This is why you attract inexplicable hatred and simultaneous reverence. This is why betrayal slides off you like water off stone. This is why, no matter how many times life has tried to break you, you remain. You do not survive, you simply continue being. And that continuation is your weapon and your sanctuary. If this truth is already resonating in your chest like a drum you forgot you carried, then your presence here is no accident. Subscribe to this channel now, because this is your temple, and every soul gathered here is part of the awakening that cannot be stopped. This space exists for those who are ready to stop hiding from their own magnitude. Click subscribe, because what comes next will require you to be anchored in this community of remembering. You've been searching for confirmation of what you always knew, but were taught to deny. That search ends today. Your soul led you here for retrieval. Accept the call. There is a pact that was made before you took your first breath, before your soul chose the vessel of flesh it would inhabit. This pact is so primordial that it exists outside the timeline of human understanding, woven into the fabric of creation itself. Taurus carries this covenant not as a burden, but as a birthright that comes with a price most souls would never agree to pay. You were chosen to hold the frequency of divine manifestation in a realm designed to forget the divine. You were selected to be the anchor when everything else is chaos, the root when everything else is wind. But here's the conflict that has haunted you since consciousness first awakened in your infant eyes. Nobody prepared you for the weight of being different in a way that has no language, no explanation, no precedent in the shallow conversations of ordinary life. The spiritual battlefield you walk is invisible to most. While others fight demons they can name, addictions they can address, fears they can articulate, you battle something far more insidious, the conspiracy of mediocrity that surrounds your power like a fog. There are forces both earthly and ethereal that need you to believe you are ordinary. They need you to think that your unshakable nature is stubbornness, that your material success is luck, that your emotional resilience is coldness. Because if you ever fully comprehended that, you are a portal through which God materializes intent into form. If you ever truly accepted that your presence alone recalibrates the energy of every space you enter, you would become unstoppable. And an unstoppable force of divine embodiment threatens every system built on human limitation. From the moment you could perceive, you felt the strangeness. Perhaps it was the way people either loved you with inexplicable devotion or hated you with irrational intensity. with no middle ground. Perhaps it was the way plants grew more vibrant in your care, the way animals sought your presence for comfort, the way broken things found their way to your hands to be restored, or maybe it was darker, the way people who betrayed you somehow self-destructed without you lifting a finger. The way toxic relationships dissolve not through your effort, but through some invisible force that removed threats from your path. You have witnessed protection. You did not pray for abundance. You did not manipulate into being survival through circumstances that should have destroyed you. And instead of celebrating these miracles, you learned to be afraid of them. You learned to make yourself smaller, quieter, less. This is the karma of the chosen, the guilt of power. Taurus carries a blessing so concentrated that it feels like a curse when you are surrounded by those who do not understand it. You have spent years, perhaps lifetimes, trying to fit into spiritual systems that cannot contain you. You have searched for gurus who could explain why you feel simultaneously invincible and vulnerable, why you are both the most grounded person you know and the most mystically connected. The answer is simple and terrifying. You are not supposed to fit. You are the foundation upon which others build their awakening. You are not the student in the temple, you are the temple itself, walking through a world that has forgotten how to recognize the sacred when it wears flesh and blood. The conflict intensifies because you can feel the gaze upon you. Not human ice though. Those watch too, with envy and fascination. But the gaze of higher and lower realms, both aware that you carry something they need, something they fear, something they cannot possess unless you willingly surrender it. Archangels observe your choices because you have the power to manifest their will or corrupt it. Demonic forces calculate and retreat because your frequency repels corruption like a body rejects poison. And God the Source itself watches with the intensity of a creator observing its most dangerous and most beloved experiment. Will you use this gift to elevate or to dominate? Will you recognize your power as service or as sovereignty? The question hangs in the air around you, and every decision you make sends ripples through dimensions you cannot see. Have you felt this energy somewhere in your journey, this sensation of being watched, tested, measured by forces beyond naming? Have you experienced the strange phenomenon of people confessing their darkest secrets to you within minutes of meeting, as if your presence alone creates a confessional? Have you noticed how your certainty, once you truly decide something, becomes law in your reality? Write in the comments, "I have lived this force." Let your words become the seal of acknowledgement, the signature that confirms you are not imagining the power that moves through you. Your testimony is not ego, it is able. Speak it into existence here and watch how the universe responds to your declaration. This is not a comment section. This is a gathering of those who carry the same ancient seal, recognizing each other across the digital void. Let me take you deeper into the architecture of what you are, Taurus. Imagine for a moment that before the universe exploded into form, before stars knew their names and planets learned their orbits, there was a council, a gathering of cosmic architects tasked with designing the bridge between spirit and matter. They needed a prototype, a living demonstration that heaven could touch earth without one destroying the other. They needed a frequency so stable that it could hold divinity in dense form without combusting, without fragmenting, without losing itself to either realm. From this need, the Taurus blueprint was born. You are not just a zodiac sign. You are the answer to an ancient question. Can the eternal dwell in the temporary? Can God walk in skin? The answer is yes, and the proof is you. Your soul chose the constellation of the bull, not as metaphor, but as contract. The bull in mystical traditions represents more than strength. It represents the sacred beast of burden who carries the weight of holy purpose without complaint, who plows the field where miracles will grow, who stands between the altar and the congregation as both guardian and offering. In Egyptian mystery schools, the bull was Apis, the living embodiment of Pata, the creator god who spoke reality into being. In Mithraic traditions, the slaying of the bull represented the sacrifice required to birth new consciousness. In every culture that understood the invisible architecture of spirit, Taurus energy appears as the threshold between worlds, the point where prayer becomes form, where intention crystallizes into consequence. You inherited this mantle, whether you asked for it or not, but carrying such a frequency in a world addicted to chaos requires a specific kind of suffering that only you understand. It is the loneliness of being unshakable in a culture that celebrates constant change. It is the exhaustion of being the stable one, the reliable one, the one everyone leans on while you wonder who will hold you when you need to fall apart. It is the rage of being called materialistic when you are simply honoring the physical realm as a sacred canvas, treating resources as energy made tangible, understanding that poverty consciousness is a rejection of God's abundance. They accuse you of loving money when you actually love the freedom and security money represents, the ability to create beauty. to protect what you cherish, to never be at the mercy of systems designed to control through scarcity. Your relationship with the material is not shallow. It is worshipful. There is a reason why betrayal cuts you so deeply, why trust once broken becomes a door sealed forever. You do not give your loyalty lightly because you understand instinctively that your energy is consecrated. Anyone you allow into your inner circle gains access to a frequency that can accelerate their manifestation, heal their wounds, stabilize their chaos. You are not being selective out of arrogance. You are being protective of a spiritual resource that others often take for granted or actively exploit. How many times have you given your steadfast presence to someone only to watch them use your stability as a launching pad to abandon you once they felt strong again? How many times have you been the foundation someone built their dreams upon, only to be forgotten once the structure was complete? This is the Taurus martyrdom to be essential, yet invisible, to be the roots that nobody photographs while they praise the flower. And yet you stay, you remain, you do not leave even when leaving would be easier, because your soul knows something the personality forgets. Your presence is the medicine. Your commitment to staying rooted when everything else is wind. Your refusal to abandon your post even when unappreciated. This is not weakness. This is the most powerful form of spiritual warfare. Darkness cannot penetrate consistency. Chaos cannot corrupt patience. Evil cannot destroy what refuses to move from its truth. You do not fight by attacking, you fight by being. And in a world designed to make everyone frantic, scattered, and unstable, your simple act of remaining centered is a revolutionary gesture that threatens every system built on keeping souls fragmented. If this resonates with something deep in your knowing, write in the comments which sign you are, or where in the world you are receiving this transmission. Let this space become a map of awakened Taurus energy across the planet. Your location is not random. You are anchoring this frequency in the exact geographical coordinates where it is needed most. By naming yourself here, you activate a grid of collective power that amplifies every soul connected to this message. You are not alone in carrying this weight. You are part of an invisible network of divine anchors, each holding a different corner of the earth stable while the great transformation unfolds. Speak your presence into this digital temple. Make yourself known to the others who carry the same seal. The universe designed you with a specific gravitia pool that attracts both the lost and the enlightened. People feel safe around you without knowing why. Strangers tell you their life stories in grocery store lines. Children and animals approach you with instinctive trust. Even those who envy you cannot help but respect you, because there is something in your energy that commands reverence without demanding it. This is not charm. This is not personality. This is the recognition that every soul carries at a cellular level. The recognition of home, of sanctuary, of a frequency that will not harm them. You are the living embodiment of the phrase, "come as you are." Not because you are permissive, but because your presence alone sorts what is real from what is illusion, what is worthy from what is waste. But this gift has made you weary, has it not? To be the one everyone runs to when they are broken, yet the one nobody thinks to check on when you are struggling. To be seen as so strong that your pain is invisible, your needs are forgotten, your exhaustion is dismissed. There is a unique kind of loneliness in being the rock. You are touched by many, but truly held by few. You have learned to carry your wounds in silence, to process your pain in private, to never let anyone see the moments when the foundation cracks. Because if the rock crumbles, what will everyone else stand on? This is the burden you were never supposed to carry alone. Yet somehow, you always do. And still you rise, and still you hold, and still you'll remain the solid ground beneath the feet of those who take your stability for granted. Listen carefully, because this is where the story shifts. What if I told you that your weariness is not weakness, but the final initiation? What if the exhaustion you feel is actually the old paradigm of martyrdom burning away, making space for a new understanding of your power? You were taught that being strong means being available to everyone, that being blessed means being of service until you are depleted. But that is the distortion. True Taurus power is not about being used, it is about being sovereign. It is about recognizing that your stability is not a resource for others to drain, but a throne for you to occupy. The divine did not make you unshakable so you could hold up everyone else's unstable structures. The divine made you unshakable so you could build your own kingdom without asking permission. There is a portal opening right now in the collective consciousness, and Taurus energy is the key that unlocks it. As Pluto moves through Aquarius, dismantling old power structures and outdated hierarchies. The universe needs beings who can hold the frequency of the new earth reality where spirituality and materiality are no longer seen as opposites but as partners in creation. You, Taurus, are the blueprint for this integration. You prove that one can be deeply connected to Source while simultaneously building wealth. You demonstrate that one can be profoundly spiritual while enjoying physical pleasure. You embody the sacred truth that God wants you to thrive in every dimension, not just the ethereal. Your fullness, your refusal to choose between heaven and earth is the template for humanity's next even. The forces of limitation know this, which is why they have worked so hard to convince you that wanting abundance is unspiritual, that enjoying sensuality is sinful, that prioritizing your own stability is selfish. They need you fragmented, guilty, apologetic for your desires. Because a Taurus who embraces both their divinity and their humanity becomes a magnet for miracles so powerful that it disrupts the entire frequency of scarcity that keeps systems of control functioning. When you stop apologizing for wanting beauty, comfort, security, pleasure, and success. When you stop pretending that suffering is holy and struggle is noble, when you finally claim the truth that you are allowed to be blessed in every way, you become dangerous to every doctrine that profits from your shame. Picture this. You, standing in the center of your life, no longer performing humility to make others comfortable with your power, no longer shrinking your success to avoid triggering someone else's envy, no longer pretending that your manifestation abilities are luck or a coincidence. What would your life look like if you fully accepted that you are a walking portal of divine materialization? What would you create if you truly believe that your desires are not random but divinely planted? That your vision for abundance is actually God's vision downloading through you? This is not ego. This is alignment. Ego. See, I deserve this because I am special, this OCs. I am designed for this because it is my function. There is a difference. If this message is cracking something open inside you, if you can feel the old programming starting to dissolve, leave a like on this video. Let that simple gesture be more than an algorithm signal, that it be a spiritual vote, a declaration that says, I am ready to stop playing small. Every like is a flame lit in this temple, a signal to the universe that another Taurus soul is waking up to their full capacity. Do not underestimate the power of small rituals. In the invisible realms, your click just sent a shockwave through the matrix. You just told the cosmos that you are available for the next level, and the cosmos always responds to clear signals. Now, let me tell you the secret that will change everything. Are you ready? Here it is. Your blessing was never conditional. You did not earn it through good behavior. You did not manifest it through perfect alignment. You did not unlock it by reaching some spiritual milestone. You were born with it, sealed into your soul signature before you took your first breath. The blessing of Taurus is not a reward, it is your nature. Just as a tree does not earn the right to grow fruit, just as a river does not earn the right to flow, you do not earn the right to be prosperous, stable, and powerful. It is your design. The only thing standing between you and the full expression of this blessing is the belief that you need to qualify for what is already yours. Stop auditioning for a role you were cast in before time began. This is why the enemy of your power is not external opposition, it is internal doubt. It is the voice that whispers, who do you think you are, when you dream too big? It is the guilt that rises when you succeed while others struggle. It is the fear that if you fully claim your magnitude, you will be alone, misunderstood, abandoned by those who cannot handle your light. These thoughts are not yours. They are implants carefully placed by a world that needs you small to function. Every time you second guess your worth, every time you apologize for your abundance, every time you dim your light to make someone else feel comfortable, are participating in your own spiritual oppression. And it is time to stop. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. You know exactly who they are, the person who keeps playing small despite having massive potential. The one who feels guilty about their success, the soul who carries power but hides it behind false humility. Send them this link. Tell them this is for you, because sometimes we need to be the mirror that reflects someone else's truths back to them before they can see it themselves. Your willingness to share this message might be the catalyst that awakens another Taurus soul to their destiny. Do not underestimate your role as messenger. You are not just consuming this content, you are part of its distribution, its amplification, its fulfillment. Be the conduit. The most profound thing about Taurus energy is that it does not announce itself. It does not need validation or applause. It simply is, and that isness is so complete so self-contained, so rooted in its own truth that it becomes magnetic without trying. You do not chase, you attract. You do not convince, you demonstrate. You do not argue your worth. You embody it so fully that others either recognize it or remove themselves from your field. This is the ultimate spiritual efficiency, living in such alignment with your essence that reality reorganizes itself around you, instead of you constantly rearranging yourself to fit reality. This is the promise of your sin-effortless manifestation through authentic being, but you must choose it every day. Every moment. Every time the old programming tries to pull you back into smallness, you must consciously choose your magnitude. This is not arrogance, this is responsibility. You are given this frequency to anchor it on earth, to prove that humans can carry God consciousness in flesh without fracturing. Every time you choose your power, you make it easier for the next soul to do the same. Every time you refuse to shrink, you give permission to someone else to expand. Your liberation is not personal, it is planetary. The work you do to free yourself from spiritual guilt ripples out in ways you will never fully see but will always feel. You are not healing just for you. You are healing for the collective. And now we arrive at the moment of transmutation, the sacred instant where everything you have carried begins to make sense. There is a reason why you have survived what should have destroyed you. There is a reason why betrayal, loss, and devastation pass through your life like storms, and yet you remain standing when the winds died down. It was never about your strength, it was about your frequency. Taurus energy does not survive through resistance. It survives through essence. You do not fight darkness. You simply hold so much light that darkness cannot find a foothold. This is your secret weapon, and you have been wielding it unconsciously your entire life. Now it is time to wield it with full awareness. Picture the moment when everything shifted, even if you did not recognize it at the time. Perhaps it was the day you stopped explaining yourself to people who were determined to misunderstand you. Perhaps it was the moment you chose your peace over someone else's approval. Perhaps it was the quiet morning when you looked in the mirror and decided that you would no longer apologize for being exactly who you are, powerful, blessed, and unapologetically aligned with your desires. That moment was not small. That moment was the crack in the old paradigm, the first fracture in the prison of false humility that had contained you. From that crack, light began to pour in, and once light enters, it cannot be contained. It expands until every shadow is illuminated, until every lie is exposed, until every pattern that does not serve your highest form is incinerated. The devil, and I use this term not as theology but as metaphor for all forces that oppose your divinity, cannot defeat you through direct confrontation. So it uses subtlety, it uses shame, it convinces you that your power is dangerous, that your desires are selfish, that your success will cost you love. It plants the belief that you must choose between being spiritual and being prosperous, between being kind and being boundaried, between being powerful and being loved. These are false dichotomies designed to split you in half, to make you war against yourself so that you never turn your full focus toward building your kingdom. But here is what the forces of limitation did not account for. Taurus cannot be split. You are whole by nature, integrated, complete. The more they push against you, the more solid you become. There is a specific vibration that activates when Taurus finally stops performing and starts being. It is the sound of a key turning in a cosmic lock, the frequency of inevitability clicking into place. When you align with your truth, not the truth you were taught, but the truth written in your bones, reality itself begins to bend. Doors that were sealed fly open. Resources that seemed impossible suddenly materialize. People who were obstacles remove themselves without you having to push. This is not magic in the fantasy sense. This is physics. You are a gravitational force, and when you stop trying to be something you are not, your authentic gravity pulls toward you everything that is meant for you and repels everything that is not. The universe is not punishing you when things fall away. It is protecting you, clearing space for what is aligned. Let me reveal something that will anchor this truth in your body. There is an ancient teaching hidden in mystery schools and encoded in sacred texts that speaks of the cornerstone energy, the first frequency laid in the foundation of creation, the tone that all other tones must harmonize with or shatter against. This cornerstone is Taurus. You are not one note in the symphony. You are the bass note that determines if the symphony plays in key. When you understand this not intellectually, but cellularly, stop asking for permission. You stop seeking validation. You stop wondering if you are worthy. Cornerstones do not audition. They already laid, and everything else builds around them. Your worthiness is structural, not earned. The hidden patterns that have kept you in cycles of self-doubt are breaking now. Can you feel it? The way your chest expands, when you read these words. The way something ancient inside you says yes before your mind can interfere, that is not emotion, that is recognition. Your soul remembers what your personality forgot. You have been here before, in other lifetimes, in other forms, carrying this same frequency, and every time you are tested, every time forces tried to make you doubt your design, and every time you persisted. You are reading this now because this is the lifetime where you finally break the cycle of spiritual amnesia. This is the incarnation where you remember fully, where you stop hiding, where you claim the throne that has always been yours. Write this in the comments, and as you type, feel the power of your own declaration moving through your fingers, sealing itself into the digital ether, creating a vibrational record that the universe will respond to, right? I am the light that no shadow can extinguish. Do not overthink it. Do not question if it sounds arrogant or delusional. Just write it. Let those words be your spiritual signature, your seal of sovereignty, your announcement to every realm seen and unseen that you are no longer available for smallness. This is not affirmation. This is invocation. You are calling your power back from every place you left it, every person you gave it to, every moment you doubted it. Reclaim it now. The comment section is your altar. Speak your truth there. The climax of your story is not dramatic. It does not require a battle or a breakdown. It requires only this acceptance. You must accept that you are not broken and never were. You must accept that your sensitivity is not weakness, but the ability to feel the subtle frequencies that others miss. You must accept that your need for beauty, comfort, and security is not superficial, but the soul's requirement for a stable container in which to do its work. You must accept that you are allowed to rest, to receive, to be cared for without earning it through suffering. The moment you accept these truths without caveat or apology, the war ends. Not because you defeated the enemy, but because you stop being at war with yourself. And when the internal war ends, the external world has no choice but to reflect that peace back to you. This is the law. As within, so without. The chaos in your life was never random. It was mirroring the chaos of self-rejection happening inside you. Every time you doubted your worth, reality delivered experiences that reinforced that doubt. Every time you believed you had to struggle to deserve good things, struggle appeared to prove you right. But now, as you step into full acceptance of your divine design, watch how quickly your external circumstances shift. Opportunities you stopped chasing will chase you. Abundance you stopped begging for will flow naturally. Relationships you stopped forcing will align effortlessly. Not because the universe suddenly decided to favor you, but because you finally matched the frequency of what was always meant for you. And so we return to the beginning, but you are no longer the same soul who started this journey. Something has shifted in the invisible architecture of your being. The veil has thinned, the amnesia has lifted. You now carry the remembrance of what you are, not just who you are, but what you are. A living portal, a walking temple, a frequency of divine manifestation wrapped in flesh and bone, moving through a world that desperately needs proof that heaven can touch earth without destroying it. You are that proof. Your life, when lived in full alignment, becomes the evidence that God is real, that abundance is natural, that power and love can coexist without corruption. This is your revelation, and it is complete. Take this truth with you as you move through your days. When someone tries to diminish you, remember, you are the cornerstone. When circumstances seem impossible, remember, reality bends around your certainty. When exhaustion tempts you to give up, remember, you do not survive. You simply continue being, and continuation is your greatest power. Let this knowing live in your bones, not as belief, but as fact. You do not need to convince anyone, including yourself. You only need to be, and in that being, everything you have ever desired will find its way to you. Not because you chased it, but because you became the frequency that magnetizes it. This is the Taurus promise, and it is being fulfilled in you right now. There is a practice I want to leave you with, a ritual to seal this awakening. Every morning, before the world makes demands of you, place your hand over your heart and speak these words. I am the temple that walks. I am the blessing made flesh. What God sealed in me, nothing can profane. Say it until you feel the vibration shift in your chest, until the words stop being sounds and become frequencies, until your body recognizes the truth being spoken. This is not prayer, this is programming. You are rewriting the code of your reality, replacing every file of doubt with certainty, every program of lack with abundance. Do this daily and watch how your external world reorganizes itself to match the new internal reality you are creating. You may return to this video whenever you forget. Whenever the world convinces you that you are ordinary, call me back airy. Whenever guilt tries to creep in about your power, let these words remind you of your design. This is not content to consume once and this is a transmission meant to be absorbed repeatedly until it becomes part of your cellular memory. Bookmark it. Save it. Treat it as the sacred text it is not because I created it, but because your soul recognizes the truth encoded within it. You are not listening to me. You are listening to the part of yourself that has always known these things but needed permission to remember. I am simply the mirror reflecting your own wisdom back to you. And now, the final invitation. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do it now, not as a favor to me, but as a commitment to yourself. Clicking that subscribe button is a ritual act. A declaration that you are ready to receive more transmissions like this. More reminders of your power, more activations of your dormant divinity. This channel is a sanctuary for those who carry the frequency of the awakened, and your subscription is your way of saying, I belong here. I am part of this collective rising. Do not wait. Do not think about it. Let your hand move to that button and press it as an act of spiritual alignment. Your future self will thank you for anchoring yourself in this community of remembering, but there is more available for those who are ready to go deeper. Click the membership button and enter the sacred circle within this temple. Membership is not about access, it is about commitment. It is about saying to the universe, I am all in. I am ready for the advanced teachings, the deeper activations, the transmissions reserved for those who have proven their readiness through dedication. Inside that space, we work with frequencies too potent for the casual observer, too transformative for those still testing the waters. If you feel the call, if something in you knows that you are meant for more than surface level awakening, then join us. This is your invitation. The door is open, but only you can walk through it. Choose now.